And I'm not live, but the internet show is live up in here. So I'm excited to see how this pans out. It was weird because a part of me kind of missed going live and having chats. And like I said, it's not like I'm gonna stop doing that. I just felt like I wanted to make so much more videos, but they wouldn't download quick enough anyways, just on, my phone's data. So, I just do it live. And I think that's another reason why my videos were always so long, and for those of you that have, messaged me saying you appreciate that, I appreciate you letting me know that, because it does make a difference, and it does make me feel like, at least somebody did appreciate my 2 to 3 hour in-depth reading. And I did it because I love y'all. I love y'all. This is my passion, and you guys are the reason for it. Interestingly enough, as I was getting ready to hop back in and finish up my February monthlies, Spirit decided to step in pretty aggressively and was like, yeah, things are going to go quite as planned today. You're going to be doing a message for the collective on a couple of topics. It's not that they're upset with us, so I don't want to use that. It's not quite reprimanding, but there's things that they want us to realize that we're letting kind of slip away. We had that huge shift, and then we had all those energies with the blood moon and the eclipse and just everything with the way the planets were. And it made things quite exhausting, but for most of us as the collective, we had some significant downloads and ascensions, and it was great. And then, I don't know if y'all can attest for this, but I kind of noticed for myself and my experience, it hit me fucking hard, real hard. But I understand why, and I'm glad that I did, because I don't know, when you hear about people talking about purging, during the blood moon, and then, I heard someone say earlier, you better make sure that everything you wanted to purge, you got purged before this next full moon comes up, or you're gonna get hit double whammy. And to me, I thought, well, that's interesting. That would be a good topic to go over with you guys, because they talk about stuff like this, but they don't explain, well, what exactly do you mean by purging? And is there a right or wrong way to purge? To me, purging simply just meant letting my body feel what it was gonna feel. If I wanted to cry, I was gonna fucking cry. If I wanted to yell, I was gonna yell. Whatever emotions I was feeling, I was gonna let them out instead of repress them. And so I think that would be a good topic to go over before the next full moon. If you guys are interested in. Anyways, so. And I sure did find me an app that will pause. So when a scenario like that just happened, I don't have to lose my mind and go crazy trying to figure out how to edit it. Hopefully. Now, this is the first video, so we'll see. Sometimes apps are exactly what they say they are, even better. Sometimes they're just piece of shit. But I thought the only way to know was to give it a go. Apparently, he has some input on that as well. I told you that was gonna happen. I'm gonna use my magic pause button again. Okay, y'all. So let's get down to it. So this is going to be a message for the collective. It's an intuitive message channeled through me from the divine. And I will be using some cards with it. I did do a kind of pre-shuffle and meditation just so I could kind of get a gist of the energy and what exactly they were kind of. I don't want to use the word nervous or worried because I don't think they really get like that. But I guess just what they wanted us, well, that was in one of the messages. Something that they wanted us to really remember, because a lot of people, we went through this huge shift that was different than normal shifts that happen all the time. And then, like I said, we went through the blood moon and all those energies, yada yada. And and a lot of us did amazing work with that. Like I just saw so much growth in so many people, so much more compassion, and it just felt so good. And I think what happens, I'm just going to burn a little bit more Palo Santo, because I will tell you, okay, this is one thing that is an input from me to the collective that I've noticed. And I think that other people that are on my same level could probably agree that, isn't it funny or ironic, not really, that whenever you're trying to get a important or good or urgent message out to your soul tribe, that something goes wrong. Your internet kicks out, there's some, I wouldn't necessarily say, I could say like an urgent phone call for some people that have like family that's far away, but when I got my boys and we're all, under the same roof, then I'm good. It don't matter who's calling. I don't have to answer that phone. But it's just interesting how, and I know I'm not the only one who experiences this, and it could be the smallest thing, but it tries to distract you from doing what you were doing because you were doing something out of light and love. And actually, no, it is true, because me and one of my very good friends were talking about this yesterday. She's just now finding her spirituality, and I was telling her I remember being exactly where you were, and like random stuff was happening. If you're asking why I'm doing this, I did all this before the reading, but of course, as I sat down to do this, the baby perfectly asleep, the dog laying by my side, I get a text message just of some nonsense that I am completely fed up with. And that's the truth, And I called back and left that on their voicemail. Like, honestly, I don't know what more there is to say, because I'm done being disrespected. I'm just done. I just don't have the time for it. Like, I have so much on my plate that I'm blessed to have on my plate. And that's my stuff, and my job is to keep my stuff protected, so on and so forth, and keep my sanity while I'm at it. So that's really important to pay attention to, and this is coming from my experience and something that I think would help y'all. Because yesterday when I was trying to help her through some spiritual things, I was proud of her for picking up on it. I said, see, you're already a lot further along than you think you are. Because that definitely happens. And, I was trying to tell her about, little chaos demons, and she goes, oh, like pixies, and I'm like, well, I never referred to them like pixies, because those remind me of fairies, and I happen to love fairies, but she's like, yeah, but it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess I call them pixies just to like belittle them or something. And I said, that's cool, I could see that, because they're literally just like, you could just like squash them. Like, they're such a low vibration that they like have no intelligence, and like they break their own damn rules, because yes, the dark side has rules too, and end up just causing trouble for themselves. So it's like, okay, you want to try to ruin this, go ahead, but we both know who's more powerful here. So anyways, just pay attention to that, because it's gonna get a lot stronger. So you might as well start practicing on how to notice when that's happening to you in a spiritual sense. When you're trying to accomplish something good through the divine and weird shit keeps happening to prevent that from happening, I would make a note of that, either in your book of shadows or your notepad, your computer, wherever you know, keep notes. I know I'm a horrible note taker. I really am. But there is this one program called Google Docs, and it's neat because, like, if you go to write a note in it in your iPhone, it'll automatically, like, put it in the Google Docs on your computer, so you don't have to go somewhere and put it twice, and it backs it up. So it makes making notes a lot easier, especially because you could do the voice text. Now, yes, the voice text is not my favorite because they call them smartphones, but they are so completely dumb sometimes. And to think that literally that's what this world is going to succumb to if we do not work harder to restore humanity, restore authenticity, restore unconditional love. So anyways, that was a little input from me for whatever it's worth. Now, another thing that they wanted me to mention. He is so funny. He is just gonna be center stage now. I don't know what happened, but him and my son are both too smart for their own good. And, like, if his brother was here, he'd be perfectly fine just sitting there watching him. But he's not. I'm doing a video, and I've tried everything. Putting him next to me. Try one more thing. Sorry, y'all. I don't know. That was funky. And I was like, don't you dare start technical difficulties on me. Anyways, so another thing that Spirit was emphasizing was, you know, a lot of us are feeling like a little discombobulated, and that's normal. That's normal when you go through such a heavy shift like we did, especially if you are get out of there. Especially if you are one that is, you know, going back and forth from 3D to the 5D, 3D to the 5D. A lot of us like to do that a lot. And a lot of times that's where we come up with our ideas and stuff. And it's a safe place for us because it's more familiar. And that's why you'll notice if you're really in tune with the source and the divine that you'll find yourself feeling homesick. You know, I've talked about this before. You could be in your own home, but still feeling like, I don't belong here. Like, you just have this yearning for home, you know? And some have a better understanding of why that is. I'm going to keep this a little light and not really go too much into that. I'm going to save that for some other stuff. But in general, with what we just went through spiritually, we're seeing more. We are noticing either gifts that we already had strengthening, or we're noticing new gifts that we're adapting to. And so, that can be tricky. I'm having to look at my notes because whenever I'm getting message from Spirit, it's like, I don't know why. I don't know if this happens to other people, but it's like the downloads come so fast, like I have to hurry and write them before I lose the thought or before a distraction pops up. And so they were seeing that, so they're seeing that as a struggle for us as well. And their message to that was to, kind of lower your expectations a little bit of yourself and others. And don't be afraid to drop your guard a little bit to people. Now I do believe I've always believed in protecting our light. And intuitively that felt right. And then especially when I learned about how back in like the Salem witch trial days, and I think I've talked about this before, I learned that, they wore black, they did a lot of things that society viewed as like demonic or evil, but really what they were trying to do is the same damn shit that the government's trying to do to us. Now we were doing it for a good cause, protecting life. I feel like with government stuff, information that they hide from us, that doesn't feel so genuine or authentic to me, but that's just a personal opinion. I don't get into politics. I really could give a rat's ass about them, honestly. At the end of the day, at the end of all this, politics are going to be so far from what people should be worried about. We'll just put it like that. So, but Spirit's saying it's okay to let your guard down a little bit. Now, I didn't really clarify with them what that meant as far as how far down and with what things, but we can do that right now. Like I said, this is just like premeditative stuff. I still planned on drawing more cards, and I made that clear to them so that way you guys could be involved, and yeah. So and then they're saying, people not letting you in has nothing to do with you. It's their own way of coping with this transition. So, and that's kind of why I brought up the whole twin flame thing. Because I started getting a download I think it was my own intuitive perception, is that, and it may seem strange, but I swear, I don't know, and if there's anybody out there that's noticed the same thing, please comment below, because I'd like to know. But I find it interesting that lately, so many people that are trying to do readings seem to consistently be talking about twin flames, twin flames, twin flames, twin flames. And you're going to find them tomorrow, and it's happily ever after. Which is odd, because not too long ago, it was more of a balance. Like, you would still see the twin flame stuff, the soulmate stuff, but then you had your regular readings and stuff like that. And I get this high feeling and this weirdness in the pit of my stomach that I feel like there's been a leak, or like we're starting to get maybe like imposter like readers, and they know our weaknesses and our desires. Hey! And they know that twin flames and love seem to be like the biggest attraction to everyone. And I even teach this to my oldest son, and I'll teach it to my youngest son. I always say, baby, don't pay attention to what everyone's looking at in front of you. You pay attention to the things that are over here, behind you, on the side of you, that nobody's looking at. Because those are the things that are really going on. But when someone has a motive, and it's not for the better good, they're going to use something that gets people's attraction. It happens all the time. And this was just kind of like a premonition type epiphany that came upon me last night. It was strange because I didn't go to bed with YouTube on. And I woke up at exactly 3. I was sleeping fine. And there was a video on about twin flames. And so I'm not going to get too much further into that because I do want to get more into the messages. But I think with that, just be careful. Be careful who you're listening to. Everybody has the right to believe what they want. You know, and I'm happy I do believe in twin flames, but I don't believe in them the way that I don't even think the people that are talking about them know what they're really talking about when they're talking about twin flames. And that's why I'm saying be careful what you're listening to. Because a twin flame isn't necessarily a happy ever after, y'all. At all. I do believe in them. Not happy ever after. At all. And then I'll just leave it at that. So, let's see. Oh, okay. And then another thing that came up is that a lot of us in the collective are getting this trapped feeling, right? We're getting this, we can't do what we want to do because of other people in our life. Whether it's they won't approve of it, they won't accept it, or you literally just can't physically do it because maybe you don't have a sacred place to set up. I mean, and I'll tell you, like, that was the hardest thing for me during one of my tower moments when I had somebody maliciously destroy not just my altar and my sanctuary, but my home. My home that I built with my child. And then I was evicted. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I don't mind going into the detail. I just want to get to the important stuff because this really isn't about me. This is about y'all understanding what spirit is like trying to put out there for everyone to be cautioned before it gets to the point where it's too late to turn around, They care about us, they love us, but we also have free will. So they provide the information. If we take it, wonderful. If we don't, they're gonna love us anyways, but they're just trying to save us from a harder road. I mean, shit, they already know how hard the road's been this far. They do. And so, and what they had to say to that was just patience. Patience. Like, truly, in a temporary prison in your mind. And I so feel that. I just recently went through that. And I have no problem sharing this with you guys because I think it's important. Like, if I see somebody up on YouTube or anywhere that's trying to reach out and enlighten people, yet they don't say a damn word about anything that they've been through, or like saying, and I can relate to this time when I felt that, I don't listen to them, because if you can't talk about your experiences and you're trying to help teach me how to get through mine, I mean, really, what does that say? What does that truly say? And maybe for some people that works, but that's why they say your vibe attracts your tribe. And I do believe that in the collective, we're all in unity, but in the collective, I definitely feel like there's certain groups. I don't feel like it's like an assigned thing and like, oh, you don't know this, you can't be in this group, blah, blah, blah. I don't think like it's that at all. I think people, I think there's a lot of love and compassion and caring, but like I've described it before, to me it feels kind of like school, like K through 12, you know? Everybody's on this spiritual journey, but maybe one person's in 3rd grade, one person's in 7th grade. You know, the curriculum's different. The stuff they've learned in the previous years is different. But we have the love and we have the knowledge to pass down. Like, oh, I remember, you know, when I had to learn that, and let me teach you this cool trick that helped me, you know? Like, that's how we gotta be for each other. That is the true essence of the collective, is what I feel. I truly believe the collective was created so that we didn't have to feel alone. And for the people that isolated themselves and were only on the computer, still were able to find people like them. And then we're able to, you know, from that person being authentic and sharing their experiences, we're able to be like, well, wait a minute. Like, I've been isolating myself because I thought there was no way in hell like anyone else was feeling, seeing the shit I was. And here's this person on YouTube who has. And if they can, like, face the world, so can I. But the important thing to know is no matter how spiritual you are, we're all still in the flesh. Which is why we need each other even more. Because some days, I'm going to be strong. And you're going to hear my videos and it's going to give you strength. But some days, you're going to be strong. And I'm going to be a freaking hot mess. And want to throw in the towel. And then I'm going to hear your video. And it's going to pull me back to, okay, you know what, yeah, I'm good. I had a human moment. Take a breath. Breathe in that good ass prana. And just, this is a side effect. So, and, so yeah, let's see. So, yeah, and just trust that the divine will show Sorry, I was writing so sloppy because it was coming in so fast. Okay, yeah, and trust that the divine will show us when the cage doors fly open so we can fly free. We don't have to feel like a trapped cage bird anymore. They'll show us when the time's right. But they're going to give us as much downloads, information. They're going to use as many people that are willing to take this on, because this isn't a game, y'all. This isn't like a hobby that we just do for shits and giggles. Like, you know, and so, and if you're intuitive, or honestly, you really don't even have to be like intuitive or an empath to be able to tell authenticity or a genuine person from one that's not, you know, and that's what really, really bums me out. Like when I see people that try to do this shit and don't know, like, what the fuck they're talking about. They're just trying to tell people what they want to hear. And then just like ask for money. Yes, that's important because we all have a family to feed at the end of the day. And I struggled with that for a long time. Like accepting money for giving people, readings and all kinds of spiritual help. And, I had a really good friend tell me, like, no, this is a gift. This was given to you, and this is a passion, and you put so much of your heart into this. Like,